here. Today I'm going to be talking about turn-based RPGs and which are the ones that you need to own on the Switch. So I want this video to serve as a reminder that turn-based RPGs are not just boring and monotonous, that it could actually be fun and enjoying and even better than some action RPGs. Alright, let's get this ball rolling with number 1, Bravely Default 2. Alright, so Bravely Default 2 is a great game and story-wise it's pretty solid. I'm not going to go too deep into the story and stuff, I just want to get into the gameplay. The game introduces you to two mechanics known as the Brave and Default mechanics, which put it simply, you default to defend and gain Brave points. So with those accumulated Brave points, you can unleash a barrage of attacks in one turn for a ton of damage. So that's basically what the Brave and Default mechanic is. It's a very simple mechanic, but it goes a long way to making the gameplay so much better and engaging. And that paired along with the many classes that you could gain throughout the story makes the gameplay really deep and complex, and I just love it so much. Also, with the classes, you get a different outfit with it. One of my favorites is the Gambler class, and it comes with this cute outfit, and each of the outfits are different for each party member. I really enjoyed switching the job classes and seeing what worked and using the passive abilities to my advantage. So it really made me think about different job classes and how they work and what job system is good for me. But at the end, most of my characters were proficient in all the jobs, so there's that too. You could just break the game if you want. And the Brave and Default mechanic wasn't like a gimmicky thing, it was really embedded into the game. So for me, the job classes, the Brave and Default mechanic, the customization really added to the gameplay, and it was so fun. Now moving on to the second one, and that is Atelier Ryza. I know, another Atelier game. Look, it's my channel, I can put what I want. I put this in here because Atelier Ryza does have a really good and engaging turn-based mechanic. For me, I love the story and the gameplay loop when it comes to alchemy. But another thing that I rarely talk about is the gameplay. Not because it's bad, but I just like the other stuff more. But in this video, I want to expand the gameplay of Atelier Ryza a little bit more. So the gameplay of this game is a bit different. It's kind of like a turn-based style ATP system thing going on. It's hard to explain, but once you play it, it's really good. Also, there's a lot of flashy attacks. I love flashy attacks. But for the Atelier series, it's a little bit different because your character can make stuff like bombs, ice bombs, different weapons, different armor that really impact the battle and the gameplay. So you can essentially make it a very easygoing gameplay or a very kind of difficult gameplay depending how you synthesize materials and use them in battle. And since I love the alchemy so much, my characters always had the latest and greatest weapons and armor. Though a downside about that is if you're really not into the alchemy, the gameplay is going to reflect that and it's going to be a little bit difficult in my opinion. So you're gonna have to like the alchemy to like the battles kind of thing. You're gonna have to learn the alchemy to really maximize the gameplay. Now on to the next one, Octopath Traveler 2. I think 2 is the better optimized and it has a lot of quality of life changes over 1, but for this video I decided to put 2. As the name implies, Octopath Traveler is where you have 8 main characters with their own stories and arcs, and you tackle each story one at a time. So the keen-eyed viewer will probably notice Octopath Traveler shares a lot of commonality with Bravely Default, and that's because both games were made by the same developer and team. But the key difference between Bravely and Octopath is in Octopath Traveler, you have to exploit the enemy's weakness to stun them and get the advantage. Now that being said, the enemies will not show their weaknesses at first. You kind of have to just guess and hit them with different types of attacks to know their weakness. Now there's a little shield point next to the enemies, and if you hit it and it goes to 0, that's when the enemy gets stunned, and then you can go all out with your attacks. I personally found it very satisfying to try and maximize how I hit the enemies so I could get rid of their shield faster. So you're gonna want to arrange a party where you could hit the weakness and have characters to hit that weakness. Also, this game introduces classes. So yay, you get that on top of everything else, so you can really customize how you go about the game. Oh, and speaking of that, you're allowed 4 members into your party at a time. Each party member has their own preferred weapon where it's on default, you can't really change it. But if you equip a certain class to them, then they can learn other weapons as well. I just love the strategy of it all. It is so addicting and satisfying when you get that win. Overall, Octopath Traveler 2 has a very engaging and addicting gameplay mechanic. Now, how can I do a turn-based RPG without Persona 5 in the mix? It would be criminal. This game has basically cemented itself as one of the best turn-based RPGs to date. Now, the previous Persona games like 3 and 4 are very good, highly recommend, but for this list I chose 5 because it really modernized and mainstreamed the concept of turn-based combat can actually be good. This game just hits all the right points. The story, the gameplay, the characters, and the music, it all comes together to create one of the best games of this decade. Persona 5 has been out for a long time. We have the original Persona 5 and then the definitive version, Persona 5 Royal, and a slew of side games, but I'm going to be focusing on the main game. Now, I won't get into the stories or characters, we're just talking about gameplay here, but I would add that the gameplay loop is very addicting to going to school, running errands, hanging out with your classmates and friends, and kicking butt as a Phantom Thief at night. Okay, so the Persona series is part of the Shin Megami Tensei series as well, which has this mechanic where if you exploit the weakness of your enemy, you get a extra turn. But in Persona 5's case, it's called the one more mechanic. There's a ton of special attacks like the hold up. Now you could finish off the demon in this hold up, or you can negotiate it to get them in your party, or to get them to give you money. This mechanic also goes really well with the aesthetic and themes of the game, so I love how they did that. And then there's the almighty all-out attack, which, like it says, all the party gets together to do an all-out attack. And it also finishes with a nice pose of the character who initiated it. And in Persona 5 Royal, there's also a attack where 2 characters do some really big damage. Depending on the characters, you get a whole host of different scenarios. I love to see those. They were just chef's kiss. Now, I have my gripes with Atlus, but I do applaud them for sticking to the guns when it comes to turn-based RPGs. A lot of RPGs fall into this trap where they feel like they have to make it more action-based than turn-based to the detriment of the game itself. Persona 5 just really embraced its turn-based mechanics and just added a whole bunch of features to make it exciting, fresh, visually pleasing, and just overall great. Now, the next game is part of Persona, I guess. That is Shin Megami Tensei 5. I don't know, 5s just bring out the best in Atlus, I guess. Also, Shin Megami Tensei did the monster collecting before Pokemon. Just saying. So Shin Megami Tensei 5 takes place in modern Tokyo, who gets dragged into this post-apocalyptic world and was thrust into the middle of this war between angels and demons. Yeah, not the best situation you want to isekai yourself into. So in your adventure, you're gonna have to battle demons and even collect them along the way. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is mechanically one of the best games ever made. Now, why is that, you may ask? Well, it's because of the press turn combat system. Now, the press turn combat system is what I love about the game and many others as well. It's such a simple concept. Basically, you hit the enemy in their weakness and you gain an extra turn. But what makes it so engaging is the fact that the enemies could do that to you as well. So you're not safe. If they hit you in your weakness, then they gain an extra turn, and that could turn into a very bad situation. And it makes you feel like every move you make is strategically planned. Because if you make one bad move, that could be a game over for you. But even in normal difficulties, it could be pretty hectic, not gonna lie. I do enjoy it though because again, it adds strategy and it feels like you're more involved into the gameplay. And also, you have to recruit demons and they have their weaknesses as well, so you're gonna have to keep in mind your party. Finding new demons and learning how to sacrifice old demons to make better, stronger ones. Now, Shin Megami Tensei games have a bit of a reputation for being a bit too hard, but there are difficulty settings, so it's not all too challenging. Oh, and the protagonist is what you call a Nahubino, which is a mix between demon and human, and he has the power to reshape the universe. Yeah. It's one of those. Overall, Shin Megami Tensei 5 is a step up in the gameplay. It's very enjoyable. The story might be bad, but the gameplay does pull its weight to carry the game. Next on the list is Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE Encore. Now, I know I'm gonna get a little bit of flack for this, but I believe Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE Encore is so good, and it really doesn't deserve all the hate it gets. Now, Tokyo Mirage might seem like an unholy marriage of Fire Emblem and Shin Megami Tensei with pop idol elements, but that's what I love about the game. It juggles those three things really good. Now, gameplay wise, it takes the press turn system from Shin Megami Tensei, also the weapon triangle from Fire Emblem, to create a hybrid experience that is one of a kind. Hell, even the Mirage the characters control is based on Fire Emblem characters. But what makes the game so addicting thing is the chaining of combos. Like I said before, this game has the press turn combat, so if you hit a weakness, you get another turn. But in this game, the combos are just really flashy, and I love to chain them together, and you can get some outrageous numbers. I think my highest was like in the 50s of just wailing on the enemies, so it's really fun. And plus, since these people are idols, they are always on performance, so every time you go into battle, there's an arena full of people, they get cheered on, and their attacks are so flashy. And might I add, I love flashy attacks. So that's why I think Tokyo Sessions FE Encore belongs in this list, because the turn-based combat is just very addicting and flashy, and it's just overall fun. It combines two different IPs to create this enjoyable experience. Oh, and plus the music is really good. I mean, you would think that because these people are idols, but yeah, the music is really fun. And the last one on this list, we have Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. Now this one you could access through the NSO app on the Nintendo Switch. I highly recommend this game because I love the Mario & Luigi series so much. It's very enjoyable, it's very funny, witty, and it's just overall a great experience. I love Mario in the RPG format, and I wish Nintendo could do more. Also, Mario RPG is close to release, so I'm really excited about that too. On the gameplay side, battles utilize a timing-based battle system where well-timed button presses can enhance attacks and defense. Overall, if you have the NSO app, I highly recommend you give this game a chance. It's one of my childhood favorites, and I still enjoy it to this day. I actually have a live stream playlist if you want to check that out. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like RPG content and want to see more, then please hit that like button and also subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. I'm trying to get to 6K by the end of the year, and I think we could do it. Tell me what are your favorite turn-based RPGs that I've missed, or if you found this video helpful. So with all that being said, I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of the day, and as always, play a good game. Peace.